What's up, y'all? Hold on. What's up, y'all? Sorry I didn't do this video yesterday, so Punisher I'm just gonna save for Friday. I might just do both that one and then the Warzone, not just on the same day. But today, I figured since I wanted to get my Equalizer video out. So, well, actually before that, Friday, I watched a movie called Slaughterhouse, and I want to give quick thoughts because I don't think I'm gonna do a whole video on it. It was really something. I'll admit, I was more thinking it was gonna be like a killer animal film, but it basically was Chucky. Essentially, like this lady. I do not remember the names because I was kind of fucked up when I saw this movie too. The main girl finds this sloth who earlier, though film opens, you see this sloth like get eaten by a croc, and then it basically cuts his way out. I'll admit that was kind of a cool opening. But it gets taken by, I guess, this poacher who sells it. She plans on buying, like, an animal. So she goes to him, but he ends up, gets killed. So she takes the sloth, and, it's basically, the whole film is about this girl becoming sorority president or whatever. And that's where I kind of, will admit, I did not give a fuck about the plot. That actually kind of was dragging the movie down. I was just kind of hoping it was just going to be a regular girl. And fucking plain. Anyway. So, and basically it just starts killing off the sorority members. And yeah, I mean, I'll admit it's not the worst thing in the world. I will probably watch that before I watch any of my worst movie of the year. That's like any of them, like Indy 5, Flash, Mutant Mayhem. I'd watch this before I watch those again. But the kills are pretty bad. I love how the animatronic, you could tell it's an animatronic sloth. There are times, like when she's holding it, it's barely moving its arms. I'm like, why is it not moving its arms? But for what it is, it's fine. It's definitely going to be a one watch for me. I don't think I'm going to go back, watch or anything, but I figured just give quick thoughts on that. But Equalizer 3, man, this one is definitely the second best. I can see the argument for the best, but for me, that first one, I just think because of the simplicity. But what I do like about this one, it kind of brings it back. Because one of my kind of criticism of the second one, Susan's death was tragic, but I didn't care for the whole conspiracy aspect about the film. I actually like it. This one just kind of brought it back to simplicity. During a mission, Robert ends up killing a major drug lord, but on his way out, he ends up getting shot by his son, like really young son. So he ends up getting injured, and then he gets found by Gio. It takes him to this like little town, basically small little Italian town. He starts befriending the locals, where during this, there's basically a gang kind of essentially takes over. And while this is happening, we have CIA upgrades. This is where Dakota Fanning, I think her name's Collins. She's actually a pretty fun little character too. It was actually one thing I did like about this one. This one had some nice kind of side characters throughout the film. The people in the town, you feel bad for them when this gang basically comes in, or they're called the Camorra, but they're basically this gang that kind of harass members of the town and force, kind of like the first one, if you remember, with the mom, force money out of the town. And so that's where I see a lot of people kind of calling it. It has a Western feel to it, and it does kind of have that. That opening action scene, holy shit. When the dude walks in and he just sees all these bodies, and then you just see Robert chilling by the wine, then you think he's about to get executed. He takes them all out. This is where, in the trailer, you saw the guy get stabbed in the eye with a fucking knife. Then he still shoots not stabbed in the eye with the gun, sorry. Then he shoots the fucking gun through the dude's eye. I was done. I was like, holy shit. This one is definitely the most violent one. Of all three, the violence in this is, even later on when he kills, Villain's brother, fucking that was violent. They don't hold back on the violence in this one. It is... Robert goes all out, and I fucking love it. But aside from that, Collins is doing her investigation, and then this is where we get the reveal later on that Collins is actually the daughter of or yeah, Collins Plum. We find out that she's actually the daughter of Susan. So it kind of makes sense why they have this attachment. So that I do like. And I like that they revealed it at the end. So that's why they had that like connection. It makes sense. So overall, I fucking love this movie. The villain was pretty good. You had like two villains basically. Um, then Marco, I think, and his brother basically are like major gangs. So he kills Marco's brother and then basically makes an enemy out of Marco. And then you think there's gonna be like this big. Because even the film kind of sets it up like Marco, like as a town kind of steps up to them. Marco's like, we're gonna come back, and then fucking what does fucking Robert do? He's like, fuck that, I'm gonna break in your house and kill everyone there, and then kill him. It's so good. Even that final kill where he was just chasing Marco, and Marco's like just scared shitless because he knew he was gonna die at that point. It was awesome. I love this fucking movie. One of my favorites of the year, and I like that it does kind of take it back to just that more simpler plot, and that's one of the reasons I really love the first one. So I like that they kind of went back to that with this one. Pretty good cast too. The score was really good. Good cinematography. Because they were in Italy, so they had to get some really good panning shots of Italy, and I think they really did a good job with that. So I would give this one a 9. If I were to give like the first one a 9.5, almost 10, I'd give this one a 9, and then I'd give 2 an 8. So that's about my ranking, but they're all great movies. I say go to see this one in the theater just for that scene alone when he stabs the dude in the eye with the gun and then he shoots it out of the dude's eye. It's like just for that shot alone, you got to see that in theaters. So, but other than that, later tonight I will be doing my top. It would be 11 films from 2000. So I put that together last night. So can't wait to talk about that. And I guess I'll go through what I got going on this week. Tomorrow, Spectre review. I don't know what I'm doing Wednesday yet. Thursday, I'm going to start the Insidious movie since we're kind of getting closer to Halloween. And my friend Mara told me basically only if you want to just focus on the main family, just do the first two and then the newest one. Because the other, apparently 3 and 4 are kind of like spin-offs basically. I'll probably go back and do those, but I'm going to mainly just stick to the main ones with the main cast. So that's what I've been told. So I'm going to do Insidious 1 on Thursday. And then Friday will be 2. I'll be doing reviewing the Thomas Jane Punisher movie and Punisher Warzone, which that's going to be fun. I fucking love Warzone. I love both of those. So those are going to be fun to talk about. So anyway, other than that, let's get started. So the film opens up. We see Lorenzo Vitali finds his winery and basically all his people dead. I love this opening. Like it just it sets the scene. You just walks in, you just see body after body, dude stabbed on the table, and all this crazy shit. And then he finds Robert just chilling there. Vitali tries to have the people take him, but then Robert, like, obviously, what happens when he puts the timer on, takes everybody out, and including the dude with the eye. That was just crazy. And then he still shoot. That's when he shot it through the dude's eye. I was just like, bro, you already stabbed the gun through his eye, and you're still shooting it. It's like, what? Was not expecting that. The creativity just to do that. And then while Robert is on his way up, because he's trying to get stolen money because he goes through like so it's like basically him. That's what I think I like about this character. It has like a vigilante kind of feel to it. So he ends up going up after I think kills Vitali, his son, who he sees at first thinks it's just this kid, but then when Robert turns around, his son shoots him. He scares off the kid, and then he gets in a car because he's starting to succumb to his injuries. He almost ends up this scene when he almost was like even potentially um considered suicide for a sec because of his injuries. Because it's like he doesn't know what he can do because it's like this is what he's been doing. It's like it's a crazy thing like this film even just for a second him considering that. But yeah, he ends up passing out. Fucking sorry, god damn it. So he ends up passing out. This is where he's found by Gio, who's a great character, by the way. Like one of the good side characters that helps Robert out. Kind of helps him recoup from his injuries. And at this point, he starts kind of getting to know the town. Almonte is like this little small town. And yeah, McCall starts making a recovery. Kind of actually starts getting to know the locals, and one includes a waitress named Amina. Um, and yeah, so he starts liking the people. And this is where we meet calls our first meet Dakota Fanning's character, Emma Collins. Basically, he tips her off about like what's going on there with the illegal drug trade and all this stuff, but doesn't tell him tell his identity. And this is where we meet the Kimura. They basically start like harass villagers and kind of force them out of housing and all this stuff. And this is where we meet Angelo, and that scene was sad. Like you feel bad for like the town with these guys. Like you want them to get there. That's one thing an action film can do well. If you get a really good person to be a villain, you can't wait for the villains to get there. You know it's gonna happen. You just can't wait till it happens. And I thought they did a good job of Marco, and then Marco's older brother Vincent. Well, so Marco's the younger one, so I got the names wrong. So, but yeah, Marco, you want him to get his, and you can't wait till he gets his. So, then Angelo house gets firebombed, which that was tragic. But when you see like the whole town come together and like help him rebuild it, like you feel like the closeness of this village. I think the people, whoever they casted for the villagers, they got them right because they feel like they actually are from there. They don't just feel like they're just actors who just play. Like no, they actually feel like they're actual villagers. And you get to know you even get to know this cop, um, uh, Benucci. But then yeah, Kimura attack him and his family. Like that's sad. Like it's like that was a bad scene. I'm like I can't wait for this Marco motherfucker to get his, and he basically does because then yeah he threatens Marco at he goes to like this restaurant where Marco and his people are at. He twists his arm and basically tries to force him to leave. Marco refuses, and then fucking out of nowhere, you just see a fucking car plow into one of Marco's henchmen because the guy had just gotten killed by Robert, and Robert takes out the other two and then snaps Marco's arm because Marco has like a knife and then makes him stab himself. It is like when he finally gets it, it's like yes. That though is a good way to do a villain. Like when you want the villain to get his, and when he gets his, you're like cheering almost. So, but because of this incites the Marco's older brother Vincent, um, because while this is going on, Collins is doing her investigation and finding out more. One of the cars gets rigged with an explosive, which ends up injuring um, Collins. Who there's a scene earlier where she discusses the case with McCall at this in the town, and then Vincent, along with his people, basically threatened to shoot Benucci in front of, like, basically in front of the entire town while everyone's watching, unless Robert reveals himself, and he does. And then he says, like, take me, but then the town basically kind of steps up for him and says, no, you're not going to take him, basically. So Vincent leaves and says, I'm going to come back for you. And they have this, like, setup, like, hey, you think he's going to come back and get them, like, they're going to, Robert's going to take him out systematically, like, while protecting the town. Nope. That's not the actual conclusion. Vincent, he ends up going to Vincent's house, taking out a lot of Vincent's. Oh, there is a scene earlier where you actually, Robert's like contemplating what happened, and they actually kind of show you like a first person view of what Robert did in that opening action scene. Like, so you actually kind of got to see what he actually did leading up to when Violet, Vitali, before Vitali found him. So I thought that was kind of cool. So almost like he kind of was reliving what happened. But yeah, going back to this scene, he basically kills Vincent and all his bodyguard pretty brutally. A lot of neck stabs and neck twists, shooting. Like, yeah, dude, Robert was creative in this movie. Yeah, so he ends up choke. Even the way, like, because Vitaly has like this, like, I guess like kind of religious looking painting glass on top of on his ceiling, and slowly you would see blood fall through because somebody McCall's killing people up there, and then he just dumps the dude's body and it's like hanging, and Vitaly is looking through the house, and then this is where McCall chases him, and it feels like a horror movie scene because Vincent, sorry, ends up getting shot once by McCall, and McCall basically kind of like just follows him before Vincent basically bleeds out. And Vincent even ends up getting hit by a car. It is like, I love this. Is like probably one of my favorite final kills of the franchise. I love that. Like, it felt like a horror movie chase. It's like, because he's gonna get him, but so he returns the money taken from the winery. And then this is where we get the reveal that Collins is actually the daughter of Brian and Susan. And basically gets a promotion. And then we get a scene of McCall celebrating with the locals. So I'm kind of cool with that being the ending. If they wanted to maybe do one more movie, I'd be open to it, but only one more. But I love this movie. This one was awesome. McCall was fucking great. I'd say he's up there with John Wick. I think he's a great character, and I like that we actually still don't know a lot about him. Like, we kind of have an idea, but we still don't really know a lot about him, and I actually like that. I think that makes him almost more of an interesting character because we don't know every little thing about him. But yeah, out of 10, it's really all I can say. The fucking violence is up there. Like, just that scene alone with the gun through the eye, and he still fucking shoots it like that. I was shocked by that. So, yeah, that's really all I can say though. It's a great movie. Really, not much I can say after that. So, I thought Dakota Fanning was good. It was kind of cool to see them kind of back working together. Man on Fire. So, which actually that's gonna be another movie. Maybe I might review that one. Maybe we'll see. But yeah. Other than that, guys, I definitely recommend it. Even if you don't see it in theaters, I just think this one needs to just be watched. It's a great one. Later tonight, I will be doing my top 11 2000 movies. I can't wait to talk about that. We're in the early 2000s now, so that's going to be fun. But other than that, I'm going to peace out. As usual. Talk to y'all later. Peace.